Well, here we are with the lovely Carlene and the lovely Amy, and they have come down from Pai here.
Yes, we have.
So what are you ladies here for today?
Standing up for parental rights.
So do you want to give a bit of a background as to what happened this week? There was a bit of controversy that went down.
You might have to come over here.
Alright, okay.
So Monday, pretty much in a nutshell, Monday evening, early evening, I had a family contact me in regards to an 8-year-old girl having a medical examination. At the time of the phone call, it was assumed that it was a COVID-19 test. And this family asked me to stand up and say something for them because they had already gone to someone previous and they didn't want to stand up for them. So I went, hell yeah, I'm all about standing up for people who feel like they have been stripped of any of their rights in any way. So I done a live, which has caused a lot of controversy for a lot of parents, because when it was announced that apparently, this is apparently because we still don't actually know what happened because the school will not give any information to the mother. It was a strep throat test that was apparently performed on this little girl. Whatever happened in that medical examination, it absolutely traumatized that 8-year-old child, and her mother picked her up in a state that wasn't very nice for any 8-year-old to be in, not understanding what had just happened to her. So exposing this story brought out a lot of defenders of the school, but it also brought out supporters for this family. And on doing this, I learned that when parents enroll their children in school, apparently that enrollment form is a form of consent to the school to administer or medically examine children. And it absolutely dumbfounded me that parents would be okay with anything any procedure happening to their child without having to be notified or without having to give consent because they've already given it.
Yeah, that's pretty worrying, right? Because a lot of those families would have enrolled their children before this COVID thing even hit.
Yep.
So who's to say what medical scare tactics, or even in reality what's going to come down the pipeline? You can't just base a form that you signed on a few years ago to say, oh well, the school's got free reign to test for whatever and do whatever.
That's what's become the whole theme of our day, is parents being aware that this is actually in your enrollment form to go into your school, check what you signed up for and correct that. Because I don't understand how any parent can be okay with knowing that they've given consent to any medical procedure happening at any time without any notification or any consent form being signed. And for anyone to think that this mother is overreacting because it only ended up being a strep throat test. Apparently we have not yet determined that that was the test.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is this system has gone about deceitfully entrapping and coercing people into signing over their medical freedoms as parents to schools. Who wants to leave that in anyone else's hands but your own as a parent? You should be responsible for your child's everything. You should know everything about what's happening to them in school. I know when we were at school, if we went away on a school trip, we got a letter sent home and mum and dad had to sign it. It should be the same for any medical procedure happening. And these parents, this school still can't even prove that they notified any parent. They won't release the original enrollment form to the mother who has requested that. She wants to know what she signed, and they refuse to give her that.
And that's very worrying.
That's very, very worrying, but no one wants to see that. Some people are just pissed off that I called the school out. But I'm sorry for not being sorry. It's the only thing I can apologize for, is that I'm not sorry about doing that. I'm not sorry about hearing this little girl's story and wanting to do something to save other girls and boys from going through it. And if you don't want to do that and stand up for these kids, then you need to look at yourself and you need to look at your belief system and who you are as a person, because if that's the world that we're lining up for our kids, they're going to have a shit future, and I want to help change that.
And what do you say to the controversy around, you know, Damien Dement and kind of these links trying to paint him as a white supremacist, more or less?
It's like now people think I'm a bad person because they heard one of my lives. But come and meet us. Come and meet us in person. I have called Damien out once before for something that we both didn't agree on, but we found common ground, that we have the same enemy, and together, like that, is the only way we're going to overcome what's happening to us. So I met with Damien and yourself, and we have come to this beautiful mutual understanding that only together are we going to defeat this government, and only together are we going to free our people from communism.
Awesome. And there were so many groups that have come to unify. Can you say a little bit about that?
I haven't seen anything like it thus far. So I think we've got like 11 groups now that have all joined. It started out with the 5 of us because we all have our own individual movements. We started out with 5 groups. By Thursday I think we're at 9 groups, and then today we're at like 11 groups. And every day people are reaching out wanting to know what we're about, and all we're about is unity in our community. And as a collective and all these groups, we are now a community. But we just want to stand up and fight for our rights and freedoms for all people, but especially our children.
Awesome.
Number one.
Well,
and
thanks,
I'm
Carlene.
happy to be a part of this. I'm happy to be standing alongside Damien. I will walk with that man right to the end of all of this, and probably afterwards to go for a beer somewhere, because I can't wait for the shit to be over, honestly.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone in our movement now, all these collective groups, I'm just so proud of us all for coming here today, no matter what controversy went on. We knew we were going to be in for a fight today, but I think God was watching over all of us, and He's given us a beautiful day. So
yeah, well, and then we're even getting the gang threats. The Tribeys were apparently going to come and sort us out.
Yes, I heard from that person this morning some not so nice messages again, but I haven't given any energy to that. It is what it is. This is going to happen every time we come up against something dark that's been plaguing us. You know, there's going to be challenges and obstacles, and it's a test for us to see how strong and resilient we are in what we're fighting for.
That's right.
And that's why I'm here. I was expecting to have oranges throwing at me. I was expecting these people calling the gangs to come down and have a go at me, but no one had any balls to do anything.
No, they're all talk,
I had the balls to come down here, no matter what shit I got this week, to stand here because I believe in what I believe in. I believe this little girl, I believe this family, and I believe that it's the right thing to do to make sure that we can bring awareness to parents that you need to check your enrollment forms, quick, smart.
Awesome. And that's the message today, isn't it?
The
that
message.
As parents, you've got the freedom and the choice, and make sure you're informed, and don't let the school or the government touch your child without your consent.
Just like that.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, ladies,
Bye,
for
guys.
coming. Love that banner. That's what it's all about, folks. Unity in the community is the immunity. I love it. It's so good.